Welcome to everyone to this 10th anniversary celebration of our Lutherans Restoring Creation mission table in the Central State Synod. 10 years ago at the Synod Assembly, we were formed by action of the voting members, and we have been meeting monthly ever since, like over 120 calls. So tonight we're going to take a look back at 10 years, some pictures, that kind of thing. But more importantly, we're going to be looking forward to how we're continuing to work together to care for God's beautiful creation. So we want to begin with prayer, as we always do. So I'm going to call on Cheryl Merhoff to start us tonight.
Thank you. This prayer comes from Earth Monastery, which is a prayer cycle, which I'll talk about a little bit later when I talk about some of the things we're doing at St. Andrew's. And there is a response when I say, "Oh God of earth," then your response is, "Shelter us in your sanctuary." Shelter us in your sanctuary. Let us begin. We offer prayers now for all that is on our hearts. Help us, O Creator God, to see the world as your sanctuary, shimmering with your sacred presence. Inspire us to protect this living cathedral in all the ways needed to support its flourishing. O God of earth, shelter us in your sanctuary. We pray for the courage and fortitude to transform our patterns of daily life, individually and collectively, in ways that honor our kinship with the Church of Creation. Help us and our leaders to see how necessary radical change is in the way we live our lives and move into a life-giving future for all beings. O God of earth, shelter us in your sanctuary. O Sacred One, we pray that we may find your presence within creation that surrounds us. May each stone, each plant, each river, each star speak to our hearts of your glory and your presence with us. O God of earth, shelter us in your sanctuary. And please add a prayer. We'll pause for a moment of silence. Add a prayer that you're longing to express. O God of earth, shelter us in your sanctuary. Amen.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you. Yeah. Well, we are very fortunate to have with us the national leaders of Lutherans Restoring Creation, Phoebe Morad and Gabrielle Earl. So they're going to share some greetings with us.
Hey. I know, Gabrielle, you just got in here in the room. I just want to say, I think it was just in the last meeting I was in with Noni that Noni mentioned, "Oh, I just feel so good. We wouldn't be going if it wasn't for you." We Lutherans Restoring Creation National would definitely not be here without the Central States. We were an idea and definitely a well-grounded network, but it wasn't until I got to, do my volunteer thing as we were just trying to do workshops across the country and see, who might gather this up. You guys gathered this up and then asked for more help. And I feel like it was the humility kind of in your circle that made it clear that, oh, not just are people doing this, but they want to know about other people doing this. And they're willing to put a hand in to make sure that there is an organization, not a big bureaucratic institution, but an organization of, at least a couple of us that can help us be in touch with one another, connect with one another, not necessarily all do the same thing, but know what incredible orchestra we're all in and that we're all playing different, instruments in this orchestra. So I just want to thank you because yes, you've been around for a decade, but really you are instrumental in the fact that our organization exists at all. In addition to the fact that practically speaking, yes, you all, like your synod gives us more contributions fiscally than any other synod as well, just with all of your your local and individual support. So thank you. Gabrielle, I don't know if you want to add to that.
Yes, many of you I have met with one-on-one. I just want to say that when I joined Lutherans Restoring Creation as what I thought was going to be a short-term fellowship that was funded through a grant back in January of 2024, this was the first group that Phoebe sent me to. She said, like, this is going to be a friendly group for you to talk through and start to get to know what it's like to be in a congregation doing this work in a green team, in a synod team. For me, I was new to the ELCA as well as new to being, well, long time environmental care, but first time doing that work. And so I'm enormously grateful for all of you who have taken time to meet with me and tell me your stories, because it's informed so much of my work since then. And I'll just be brief, but I wear a lot of hats, and one of those is I kind of have a foot in the ELCA young adult world. And I was on a call today in which I was receiving a presentation about intergenerational justice. Intergenerational in that there's many generations doing this work at once, which is certainly the case, but also intergenerational in that for generations to come. And I just want you, I'm just so grateful that one, that you're willing to work in both of those spaces, intergenerationally with our generations now, and that you have such foresight. For 10 years, you've been doing this before I even knew what the ELCA was. You were doing this work. And I know that 10 years from now, the ripples will still be felt. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you both for being here. We are also very fortunate in our synod. We have two board members. We have three board members. Larry Erickson is on the board. I forgot about Kaylee Inez, who we're going to hear from here in a bit. And then Kristen Koshman, who is the chair of the board. Kristen, did you want to say anything? Because you're here. We're so excited.
Yeah. I love flexing our synod. I'm not gonna lie. Flexing is what the kids say these days. I'm not one of them, but what they say about like showing off kind of. So I love flexing about our synod, about how we are the most active in LRC and one of the forefronters really of action within LRC. 10 years is incredible. And it always amazes me that Kansas and Missouri are the ones paving the path in this. Never in a million years would I have guessed that on my bingo card at all. So I did not have that on my bingo card. So thank you all for your continued dedication to Lutherans Restoring Creation. And Central States is very, very well represented between myself and Larry and Kaylee, and then also Noni, of course, and this mission table. We get mentioned a lot. So flex, right? Yeah. Good job. Thank you.
Yes. We are going to hear from Kaylee now. She was she was a voting member at the churchwide assembly. She had planned to be here tonight, but their council meeting had to go into 2 nights. But she sent us this wonderful greeting, so we get to see her.
So good to gather with you all virtually, and I'm so sorry that I cannot be there live with you all, but know that I am celebrating and I am rejoicing because we have hit 10 years as a mission table. That's 10 years of our ministry in the Synod, of raising our voices to care for creation, of spreading hope and love for creation to our Synod and to ourselves. And so I give God thanks for you all and for our mission table, and I cannot wait to see how we continue to grow and challenge our synod to care for creation better. I did attend the churchwide assembly this year. It was in Phoenix, and it was an incredible experience. The days, they were full and they were long, but again, just an incredible experience, especially in participating of electing a new presiding bishop and a new secretary of the ELCA. So we elected Bishop Yahel Curry and we elected Reverend Cece Mills into these leadership roles. And I feel like there is an overwhelming sense of excitement for their leadership. And I cannot wait to see how their ministry and their leadership challenges us, inspires us, and encourages us to grow as a denomination and the path we journey together. Because we held such two big elections this year, there wasn't a whole lot of space and time dedicated to discussing just matters in general, especially creation care. So we didn't actually have a creation care memorial this year. But I do want to remind us that in 2022 at the Churchwide Assembly, we did pass a memorial to reduce greenhouse gases. And so a reminder of that memorial, that report outlines that the ELCA commits to reducing its greenhouse gas emission. The church has set goals to reduce its net greenhouse gas pollution by 50% by 2030 and achieve net zero emission by 2050. So while we didn't necessarily have time to talk about creation care this churchwide assembly, we did in 2022, and we are still actively working to make sure we meet those goals. Otherwise, the other kind of big things that came out of this assembly, I feel like, was the passing of Memorial D4, which is a resolution that calls on US leaders to end military aid used in the destruction of Gaza and to recognize the genocide of Palestinians. The assembly also voted to set a goal for 20% youth and young adult representation in churchwide leadership. And as an assembly, we voted in favor to strike the phrase marriage is between a man and a woman in the social statement, human sexuality, gift, and trust. As an assembly, we met under the theme for the life of the world. And I feel like all of these changes and these memorials and these elections, the ELCA really showed up and grew roots for the life of the world. We took such monumental steps in loving our neighbors and God. And I really left that assembly feeling kind of like this overwhelming sense of hope. And I do feel like this assembly was a sign of hope for so many others as well. Again, there's just kind of this refreshed and renewed hope that that our denomination will continue to challenge and grow for the life of the world. And we continue to pray for our leadership, and we continue to pray for our mission table as we continue to do the work that we do in the Synod. As we know, this work can be exhausting and it can be tiring and it can feel lonely sometimes. So I'm so grateful that we've had each other for the past 10 years and that we continue to have each other and that we continue to challenge and grow our Synod in caring for creation better. I just hold us in prayer as we continue to do the work that we do, and know that I miss you all, and I cannot wait to see you in person the next time we host some event or whatever leads us to joining one another. But right now I am rejoicing and I am celebrating alongside you all, and I cannot wait to see how we continue to raise our voices for creation. So take care and God's peace to you all. And until next time, all the love.
But wasn't that wonderful that she sent
Yes,
that?
that was great.
Yeah, she is a spark. Oh my goodness. And speaking of young people, we also have, I heard from Megan Mong, who is a member of Emmanuel Lutheran in Salina, Kansas. She is a seminarian and she has worked with Gabrielle in the young adults and the partnering with LRC, and she wants to get more involved with us. So we will work to get her connected. Hope she's on internship right now in Montana, so I'm not sure if she's able to come to our meetings, but I'm hoping that we can get her connected in, because that young blood is really important for us. So I'm just gonna take a quick screenshot while we're all here. So if everybody wants to smile, and okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, hopefully that'll work. We were hoping to have our new bishop with us, but not sure, her schedule is crazy, but I know that she is with us in spirit and is very supportive of everything that we do. And if she's able to join us later, we'll hear a greeting from her. But now we're going to do a quick kind of run through the last 10 years They say a picture is worth 10,000 years, 10,000 words, 1,000 words. Ours are worth 10,000 words. And we are going to just race through in the interest of time. But don't worry, I will send out this slideshow for all of you because we still have many people we want to hear from tonight. So I'm going to share this and just give you a little taste of 10 years of LRC. So like I said, we were born 10 years ago at the Synod Assembly, and I'm trying to see if I can make my thing go. Okay, there we go. Interested folks gathered at that assembly. We had our first conference call in July, our first in-person meeting in August of that year. We're primarily self-funded through the event registration fees and gifts, and we had a lovely church that gave us a gift when they closed. And then the Synod gave us a big old grant, over $2,000 here in the last year. So we just can percolate on because of the generosity of others. This was our first gathering, and as you can see in the center, even little Martin Luther was with us that day. That was our first gathering at Tomashinga. The mission of LRC is we're a grassroots movement promoting care for creation in the ELCA. We accomplish this by cultivating a community of dedicated stewards of earth and neighbor who proclaim God's promise of hope and healing for all. And there is the website, so you'll have that. And then here in the Central State Synod, we want to foster an ecosystem of learning and support as we care for creation in our synod. This was one of our, oops, let me go back. You don't want to miss these. Our model, when we went out, our model was to go out into different areas of the synod since we're so geographically spread out. We wanted to go out to people so they didn't have to drive long ways, but that we could do it in different areas of the synod. So this was our first Train the Trainer event in 2016, again at Camp Tomashinga. And as you can see, we have many different ages represented. So, and some familiar faces that will continue to be in these pictures. We always need to spend time outdoors. We had our dear Bishop Candia at that point. She was with us. And always we have to have campfires. So that is part of what we do. We do a lot of tabling at Synod assemblies and other events. Thank you to Jane Meyercord, who got us a brand new, in the last year or so, a new display. And she is always in charge of our drawings. And if you can you see the happy face of the person down in the corner when she gets her, yeah, she got one of the drawings. So she was very happy. So we try to be present in lots of different venues. This was our next event that was in St. Louis, and this was in August of 2016. Again, some wonderful people. That was a lovely retreat center that Jane and Cindy helped us put together, and Jan Coe. Then in February of 2017, these are the folks at Lutheran Church of the Resurrection in Prairie Village, Kansas, their Deer Green team. They did a little promotional video to help us so that we could get people to come to our next event that was in August of that year at their church. Then 4 of us were able to go to a national LRC retreat back in Georgia. And I didn't have any people pictures, but it was the most gorgeous setting. I think it was Jane and Gary and Jeannie and I were able to go and brought back wonderful ideas. One of the best things about LRC is sharing all the great ideas that go. You don't have to have original ideas because you can just use other people's. Then we love camps. So we were back at Tomashinga in 2018 for a planning retreat. Again, you'll see some familiar faces. We had young people, outdoor time, fire, it's got to have s'mores when we get together. Then we were at Wichita at Reformation Lutheran Church. That's Kaylee's home church. Did some wonderful planning there, had some great folks from Lindsborg as well. So that was another fun event. Then we were out at Hollis Renewal Center in 2019, I didn't have any pictures of people that I could find, but look at the deer. Aren't they fun? So, we're all about creation, so they were fun to have with us. Then our next one was in Columbia, Missouri, and some of these slides are from their wonderful work that they're doing in their congregation. You'll hear more about that from Cheryl in a bit. But that was a really splendid, splendid event that we had together in Columbia. So then, COVID hit, so everything kind of had to shift as it did in every congregation. We pivoted. We did more things online. We had to cancel a couple things, and then we moved to a lot more electronic resources as well. Um, we shifted to opportunities with other networking with other groups, which we had done some of, but did a lot more of that. We had the Earth Charter implementation plan, and Keith is going to talk more about that in a little bit. We have done a lot more advocacy since that time with Kifa, and we've tried to find partners in Missouri. The national LRC connections calls, which are wonderful. The online worship service that was provided for Earth Day Sunday. So many things are available online that we've been using more and more. We were able to get back together in October of 21. And so again, we were out in at Camp Tomashinga. We had some great people from Manhattan that came, and just are so grateful for all of these relationships that have sustained over the years. And then a big highlight for us was in 22 for the Central State Synod Assembly, all united in Christ, all creation groans, all creation sings. And the whole topic of the assembly was creation care. Cynthia Molobita, who is from PLTS, was with us as our keynote. She was extraordinary. And just a little plug, she'll be speaking at September 20th at the Butchery Center conference on faithful responses to climate care. I'll send that link if anybody's interested. But the worship, Cheryl was very involved in worship. It was so beautiful. There were a number of workshops. There was this memorial that Kaylee alluded to. We were a part of that. We did a green survey thanks to Jane and all her work. And new resources came out of this. Part of that was Tim Anderson helped us to create a little website that links to our Synod website. We've done a couple years of a creation care plan. Each month we have resources that are connected to worship education, buildings and grounds, advocacy and public witness, and personal discipleship, which are the pillars for LRC. We've worked on promoting the ELCA social message on Earth's climate crisis, which is really, really excellent. We're so lucky to have Janice Hawley, who's the head of Creation Care Coaching in the ELCA. She's going to talk more about that in a bit. A cohort of congregations started in St. Louis. Columbia has started a cohort of ecumenical congregations in Columbia, so that has been great. And always we have our members are doing things in their own settings, so we report on that and people can learn from that. We did a couple collaborations and had congregations from all over the United States. We've partnered with Blessed Tomorrow to the National Faith and Climate Forum. And again, that active presence at Synod assemblies has been so important. Another really wonderful, all of our get-togethers have been so great. But this one in 2023 at Hollis, we had Phoebe with us and we had a representative from the ELCA. We had the most gorgeous weather at the beginning of March, and it was a really good time for us to be together and learn together. And then this is a picture of the social message if people are interested in that. And then, as I mentioned before, we've become much more involved with advocacy. Dear Jeannie and Gary have been going to advocacy days and Kifa days for years. So they finally got the rest of us to go. And that's been a wonderful thing. The staff of Kifa has grown and they are doing excellent work. And we are very grateful to be partnered with them. And there's our dear Josh Thede there with Keith. He's another young person that is a great part of our group as well. The partnership that we formed is an attempt to be a bit more intentional with our communication, with a sort of monthly newsletter, sharing resources, the creation care plan, and events. Again, there's some links that you can access later. Oh, and then we had this wonderful, just this past March, we had an incredible event, a retreat at Hollis again. Kristen and Kaylee and Janice were our presenters. It was on climate grief and climate resilience. Just an incredible diversity of activities for us to strengthen ourselves, to strengthen one another. The creativity of these three just oozes. And so we all left there just restored and rejuvenated for all the work that we do. So we have been so lucky. We have all these creative people that help lead these things. So that is like 10 years in a few minutes.
Hey, thank
But
you.
like I said,
Thank you.
isn't that fun to see all
That's
those fun
great.
things?
Uh-huh.
I know. And all those dear, like Jacob Spilker and just great. And Megan, so great. But I want to turn it over now to Keith, who's going to talk about our Earth Charter implementation and the efforts that are ongoing with that. Keith.
Thank you, Noni. Before I begin, though, I do want to say thank you for the PowerPoint that you've put together there, this whole PowerPoint actually, and for the leadership that you've provided over these last 10 years. We have all sincerely appreciated that. Your outgoing personality, your caring spirit, the way that you're not shy, you're bold and willing to speak out on the one hand. On the other hand, you're there also to recognize people, comfort them, and to be there in prayer. And so we are all blessed with your work and your presence in what we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yay,
Thank you.
Noni, yay.
Thank you very much.
It's an honor.
Well, I'm going to go through a few slides here about the Earth Charter. Earth Charter was originally adopted in 2002. The ELCA voted to endorse that in 2019. And at that point in time, I took some initiative to reach out to the Central State Synod, in addition to the Delaware, Maryland Synod, the Metro New York Synod, and the New England Synod, to form a cohort to get a grant from the Stewardship of Life Institute. And so that's where we kind of started. The Earth Charter itself, go to the next slide, Noni. It presents values and principles for achieving sustainable development by living into a mindset of global interdependence. It's around 4 pillars: respect and care for the community of life, ecological integrity, social and economic justice, democracy, nonviolence, and peace. And so there are a number of different statements and initiatives under each of those 4 areas, like 30 plus. But what we learn as we work with this, it is very, very broad and can be applied in a lot of different places in a lot of different ways. Next, Noni. So our efforts with them started in 2019. ELCA endorsed it. We then applied for a grant. We got the grant in 2020, and within 6 months, we were putting together training modules that focused on community organizing around the Earth Charter, and did some training across the Synod, but including the 3 other synods as well. We then went and shifted our focus a little bit and started offering Earth Charter grants. And so we took the balance of the funds that were available from the grant, divided that in 4, gave it to each of the 4 synods to do Earth Charter. In parallel, about every 4 to 6 weeks, myself and sometimes Noni, but we met with the other people from those other synods to review progress, talk about what the challenges we faced, etc. In June of 25, we then received a Central States endowment grant to expand our capability to make more grants available to congregations. And as of July of this year, we've provided 8 grants to ELCA congregations. And so that, and September the 7th here is the 25th anniversary, this last week, of the Earth Charter. Now, on the next slide are the congregations that we have given grants to over that time, and we continue to have dollars available. Okay. And then Noni has put together a bunch of pictures of some of the projects that we've worked on. Okay. This gives you some visual look at some of the work that's been done in some of the different congregations. St. Mark and Waterville here, in Good Shepherd in Washington. That had to do with planting an orchard that was part of a food pantry ministry there in that community. All Saints Blue Springs, and this had to do with monarch butterflies. Okay. Bethel, which had to do with I think this is the one where you have a pollinator garden that is there, right? Atonement Florissant also did some things with monarch butterflies and I think some other landscaping.
Okay, I think that's all I have.
Okay.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
That's another one. Okay.
Yep, that's different. So that's some idea of what we have done in collaboration with the Earth Charter. We're continuing to promote and have dollars available for congregations to do projects. And we've got some new ways we can use those dollars. And Janice might mention that when she has a chance to talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks to Keith, who is, we're very lucky. We have lots of people with lots of gifts, and he is a good fundraiser and knows how to put those things together. So thank you to Keith. We welcome our new bishop, Donna Simon.
Woo! Yay!
Thank you for being with us.
She's like, oh crap, it's my turn. I'm up.
We just no nothing. You don't have to like change the world. You changed our world just by being here. So thank you.
I had 7:30. I apologize. I am late.
It's okay. We're
and
recording so you can watch it all.
Okay, good. I'm terribly sorry. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being a bright spot in Synod teams. It has been so incredible to watch the work of Lutherans Restoring Creation in our Synod in particular, and other synods look to us as a beacon of light in the whole movement of Lutherans Restoring Creation across the ELCA. It's just been so incredible to watch you all grow and to see the things that you're doing in so many of our congregations and across the Synod. I just can't take, and I don't need to tell you how timely this work is. Really, all you have to do is put your hand outside to know how timely this work is. So I thank you so much. I'm so proud to be the bishop of a synod with a team that is dedicated to God's creation and to making sure that God's creation is cared for and that we are being good stewards of earth and resources and energy. So that is really all I have to say. Just one giant thank you to all of you, to Noni for the incredible leadership. We all know that great teams are formed by great leaders. So thank you. It's a delight to be with you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are very fortunate that you are our new bishop, and we look forward to getting to know Chad Langdon as well, your assistant. That'll be great.
Chad Langdon's doing a great job.
Well, you know, when no pressure here, but when Bishop Candia took on her role, we had a meeting at the Synod office to talk about, you know, how we can serve the Synod better according to your vision, that kind of a thing. Now, we'll give you a little time to get on board, but perhaps we could do that sometime. I don't know.
We can do that anytime you want.
All right. Well, we'll put it on our to-do list.
Right.
Thanks.
Let's talk.
Okay. Now I want to call on Janice Hawley, who like I said, she's in charge of Care for Creation coaching for the ELCA. So take it away, Janice.
I think there's lots of people in charge. Jill Beverland has the ministries, but I get to work with Care for Creation coaching. Can you all see that slide?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yay. All right. Well, I want to bring you today a little bit of history, and, you know, we don't get into these things by ourselves, right? It was because Keith Mundy, I got to know him a little bit, and he invited me to work with this project when it came up. Gosh, Keith, was that about 2017 when we worked on this? And this Caring for Creation coaching is a segment 2. I think most of you know this, but I also just want to spend just a little bit of time because I want to encourage you, because you don't walk alone. And there are other resources across our greater church, wider church, light coaching that can help in lots of different ways, but Care for Creation is one of those. So what is coaching? What is coaching? This model of coaching is about a partnership with clients. It can be individuals, it can be teams, it can be green teams, it can be congregations that are stuck, that need help. It can be a synod table that wants to dream bigger. It can be all kinds of creative work together. And it's really about trusting the gifts that God has given clients, the people that come together to do this work. And tonight is really such a great celebration to look back on this history, but also to recognize that in the midst of all this, we are guided by the Spirit. And with that wisdom, we work together so much better than just by ourselves. So in coaching, the model we use is simply about asking powerful questions. It's about really setting up that comfortable environment, that space where people can talk about what are the issues. I've done some coaching with green teams. I've done some work, and sometimes it's the things, well, it's the things that you wouldn't always think get in the way. Can you imagine like people on a green team who might have different priorities and they can't come together and decide what they want to do? And so then they don't do anything, or they realize they don't have money, or they want to do something really big, but the pastor doesn't support them. You know, those kinds of challenges are for lots of groups and lots of congregations. So coaching is one way that might help people move forward. It's not counseling, it's not training, it's not consulting, but it is about helping prepare people so that they can plan their own way forward. And the coaches who have gone through Care for Creation really have a huge curriculum, and thanks to Phoebe and the resources of the Lutherans Restoring Creation, she has helped to build this curriculum. And we're just going through a fourth, I think it's number 4, isn't it, Phoebe? 3rd or 4th upgrade. And we're just getting it back. So I'm so excited to let you know that that's happening, and we continue to see growth. I just wanted to put the elcacoaching.org if you want to take a look at that. There are synod contacts. Sometimes different synods have different kinds of coaching cultures. They sometimes have a contact for the synod and training. And, you know, we don't have very many coaches in Central States Synod. So I want you to help me think about who those folks might be and identify some people who are passionate but really want to equip other people. Because the more equippers we have, the more people helping to coach, hopefully we can also help groups move faster and further down the road than they can get themselves. I also want to mention that there are other segment 2 specialties like end of life, which is also another type of coaching, race relations, mission development and vitality, those kinds of fundamental opportunities for congregations. So Care for Creation is just a part of the segment 2s, but there's lots of other resources that we have. You've seen these 5 pillars before, and what we're trying to do in coaching is to raise it to the level, and I think with Phoebe's help and the work we did this last winter to upgrade the coaching, we're trying to give more tools to coaches so that they can help mobilize teams of people and help think about methodologies to do that. And so we're really putting a lot of emphasis on creation justice. We've grown a lot over the last 5-6 years, but people are beyond that now. People are getting into how do we make forward action movement? How do we help put together a mobilized group for advocacy? And we know the point in time we're in. It's important that we not only know these things, that just like you all here in the Central State Synod, you've been active and lobbying and advocating. So the last area I just want to mention tonight, what else have we updated in the curriculum? So you can be a little more informed. I want to tell you, we get ideas because coaches going through, and we've had 1 to 2 groups, 3 to 6 people for the last few years. The COVID time really kind of cut us back, but now there's more and more coaches showing up to go through this. They finish the basic and then they can go into a segment 2 when they successfully complete it. They've given us ideas. We have a diversity of people going through coaching, and they wanted to see more Indigenous writers, Latinx writers, Black writers. We have increased the number of resources that we've put together. We've added this whole issue of climate grief that Noni talked about from our last retreat. Young people feel it. It's really a thing that is critical to how people live their lives, and they need to know that others are walking with them for support. We've also added more tools. We used to think building and grounds, what do we do with our church property and our buildings? There's other initiatives in churchwide, like holy closures and how to use buildings and land differently, sustainability questions, and the number of physical adjustments, like we have churches, imagine, where people in wheelchairs can't even get on the altar because there's no ramp, or the restrooms don't work, or making gender neutral restrooms should be a part of our discussions at times to really make our facilities welcoming to all kinds of folks. So we really did beef that part of the training up. We also, like I mentioned, the public witness and advocacy, we're trying to continue to increase the amount of facilitation tools so that coaches can really feel ready to work with groups. And then, of course, these huge emphasis on movement for action. So we do coaching with them as they come in, as they go through 7 to 8 months of training, and then some more coaching on the back end so we can try to get them connected. With Phoebe's help, we also have some test cases where coaches, when they're about ready to finish the training, they also get connected to like PLTS or ST, and they TS, I always say that wrong, TS, that they get a chance with those finishing the climate justice certification that the seminary offers. We match them with some coaches so people get some real life work in coaching for green topics and action oriented projects. So I just wanted to bring that update to you. Anybody have any quick questions?
How many coaches have you put through this system since you've started?
I think we're close to 40. However, I will tell you that during the pandemic, we lost a lot of momentum with coaches we had. So it felt like we were starting over. In about 22, we started again. But the passion that I see from coaches, and we also train some other trainers. So we have a few other people that also come to the curriculum like I can. But I'm just, you know, when I was growing up, a little Nebraska farm girl, I just never even thought I would be engaged in anything like this. But creation love is so much a part of who I am. I can't imagine not being involved in helping to create other people ways forward so that they can work their passion and do the job that we need in our earth to care for it.
Thanks, Janice. Thank you. Yeah, this last segment, we're going to just focus on 3 of our members and things they have done, just to give a sample of what can be done in congregations. I'm going to do a quick little commercial for our man, where's my dude? Okay. Larry Erickson, author extraordinaire, who has made some things available to all of us. Just a minute. I'm trying to get my to advance. Come on. You can do it. There. Larry and his cohorts have authored 2 different books that are available by free on open access. This most recent one, Sustainable Energy Pathways to Net Zero. I've put the link there. I also have a flyer that I will include in the resources that we send so that you all can see what's available. So thank you to Larry for his great work. He also does the yearly dialogue and sustainability and he is just a machine when it comes to producing resources and making connections around the world. So we are lucky to have him not only in our group, but on the board of LRC. Next, I want to call on Cindy Gross, who is in the St. Louis area, who's going to talk a little bit about what's going on at Bethel.
Thank you. So I chair the green team at Bethel Lutheran, and I said I think of myself as the seed that fell on good soil, because I think Bethel really considers care of creation as a central part of our mission. And so when I started, our primary focus was serving as our church's rep for the Energy Stewards Initiative. This was a national 2-year program for which congregations submitted an application. And then we had monthly online calls where we learned to use the Energy Star portfolio manager tool to track our energy usage, as well as practices that could help us make our buildings more energy efficient. And as part of the building improvements we made to celebrate Bethel's 100th anniversary, we put on solar panels 11 years ago. So I'm celebrating that on Sunday, September 21st, coming up our solar. So we also have done things like plan our outdoor worship services at a local park on the first Sunday every May, followed by a vegetarian potluck. Didn't used to be vegetarian, but we decided we could be brave and try it. So now that's a custom for that particular potluck. We also have a blessing of the animals service out on our church lawn the first Sunday in October. Since connecting with the mission table, which, that was back in 2016. Your slides were great, Noni. And I didn't help plan that one. That was the first time I actually got connected. So that was really great. And, like you said, with the changes that came with the pandemic, we basically have learned to learn lots of things by Zoom and connecting in broader networks. So we meet and share quarterly with folks from Atonement Lutheran and Holy Cross. And that kind of came out of a One Home, One Future watch party and a challenge from Janice. So that was fabulous. And we were inspired to submit an Earth Charter grant, have a site evaluation by our Audubon Society, and we replaced grass with native plants to help support pollinators. Last fall, we did offer 4 sessions on the ELCA social message, Earth's climate crisis, and I was blessed to have folks from Atonement and Holy Cross attend. It's really nice to be able to pull folks from across the area to keep you motivated. This past spring, we used Bethel as an offsite Zoom location to join the Northeast Minnesota Synod's Eco-Faith Summit with Cynthia Mo Lobeda as one of the primary speakers. And I've also done lots of online classes with Lisa Brinskelly in Texas. So I can't say enough good things about all the things she puts together. So Mostly, we continue to reach out to learn new things, stay motivated, and take action together. So I really appreciate this group.
Thanks, Cindy. Thank you. You do amazing things. Cheryl Meerhoff is in Columbia, St. Andrews. She's going to share some of the things that they've done.
All right, let's see if I can.
You want me to put them up if you don't have them?
Yeah,
I've got them.
I have them here, but let me see if I can do the right
Okay.
thing. I may just have to have you do that. I've not done it for my
Sure.
iPad before.
Sure, I'll do them.
Yeah, it's not letting me do it. So
I've got it right here. Plan B.
Plan B, that's why we
Yeah.
talked about it. Okay, so this is a drone shot of St. Andrews in the middle of Columbia, which is in the middle of the state of Missouri.
That's cool.
And so you can see we're surrounded by lots of trees, so we're blessed with lots of vegetation. And on the north side of the building, which would be to your left, that's our rain garden area, which we've been working on a lot to implement or to restore as well as embellish and add to. Okay, next slide.
Okay. It doesn't want, there we go.
We signed Covenant with Creation on September 20th, 2018. And we used the template from the National Lutherans Restoring Creation site. And of course, we've already talked about the pillars. So we attempt each year to do at least one or more activities in each of the areas. Okay, next slide. In worship, this will be the 7th year that we've had a season of creation. In the fall, we have 4 Sundays. And I hope you'll excuse me. I'm just recovering from COVID. So my little fuzzy and my throat is still a little bit scratchy. So I apologize for that. We're starting this year's season of creation on September 28th with Ocean and Lake Sunday. And that's also going to be our last summer worship on the lawn. We've had summer worship once a month, May through September. Then the next Sunday is Animal Sunday. And next slide. And followed by Storm and Weather Sunday, and then followed by Cosmos Sunday. We're using materials currently from the Northwest Illinois District, which has put out some wonderful resources for Season of Creation. And the resources follow the lectionary A, B, and C. And so that's very useful. Before that, 3 years, we used the Dakota Road Earth Keeping Liturgy. And that was also another really good experience for us. Okay, next is education. My husband and I are currently planning an education series, what we're calling What's Up with Our Daily Bread, looking at food and food systems and how our food choices affect people and the environment, both locally as well as around the world. And also we'll get to actions to do what we can to address food issues. We're using some video clips from a PBS special that's called Nourish Food and Community, as well as some other resources. So we're kind of putting several things together. And it's probably going to be a 4-part series. The first one we have scheduled for October 5th, which is it will occur between our 2 church services. We have an education hour, so that's when we have our education forums. Okay, and the next slide. Building and grounds, we've done a lot of things over the past 7 years, such as replacing light bulbs, putting in programmable thermostats, and we continue to work a lot on our rain garden, which was part of a landscape plan when there was a building improvement in 2012, but the rain garden part wasn't completely finished, I suppose, due to lack of funds. And then also some of the things that were planted didn't survive because 2012 was one of the worst droughts that Missouri has had to date. And so some of the things didn't survive. So over the last few years, we've been continuing to add and restore the various parts of that landscape plan in our rain garden area. And it's covers the whole north edge of our property. So we're going to be planning planning on that day, adding the holly bushes. Okay, next slide. For personal discipleship, which I have kind of started calling personal lifestyle, because some of it's choices that we make. We have several tools we're going to be encouraging people to try. One of them is doing, for personal meditation, to use the 7-day Earth Monastery prayer cycle that's available from Abbey of the Arts. It's based on the book Earth, Our Original Monastery, which our church did a book discussion on 3 years ago. We did a 7-week book discussion. And this is a beautiful prayer cycle. There's a morning and an evening prayer cycle. They're about 15 minutes long, and they have readings, music. I love the psalm, what should I call them? Interpretations. And besides using it just as a personal way to meditate, it's also, I think, a good resource for leaders who are looking for creation-based prayers and songs and so forth. Next slide. We also are trying to encourage people to keep adding more plant-based meals to weekly menus, and I'm trying to at least once every quarter put out a recipe that we use in our household that's really a good one. And so this is the one we're going to have on the table for people to pick up. And I'm hoping to maybe have samples one day, but we'll see, or one of the Sundays, we'll see how that works out. Next slide. Another really neat tool I learned from my nephew this summer is there's several different apps, but this one seems to be really good. It's called Yucca, and you download it on your phone, and then you can scan product labels of both food and health and beauty products, and it will tell you whether it's a good or bad product, and especially the additives and the preservatives part, which is really surprising. And so you can see that we have a lot of things which contain things that are not only harmful to our health, but also harmful to our environment. And so I've been using this constantly now since I learned about it. I always have that on. I mean, it's really easy to use. It's free, and there's no ads. And if a product comes up that's labeled bad, according to their way of looking at it, they also give you some suggestions for better products. And so I've already made some changes where I was appalled at a couple of the things that I had. And so this has been very useful in my just, cleaning up my food. That's what my nephew's goal is, to eat cleanly. So it's we're going to be encouraging people to try this out. Okay, next. For public witness, we wear our shirts when we go out and do different activities. We've had a number of things just recently, like our volunteer group worked at our food bank packaging food. And then the next slide. I actually, in my slideshow, added to this one. One thing that we're encouraging Columbia residents to do is to fill out the survey that the city has about the future of recycling. Some of you may know that we had a tornado go through Columbia. The only thing it severely damaged was it destroyed our material recovery facility. And so our city has had to put recycling collection on hold, which has really we've been scrambling a lot this summer trying to figure out ways for all of us to keep doing our recycling. And so this is one thing that Columbia residents could do to lend their voice to how this recycling future unfolds. What's not on here is just this week, we learned about from one of our partners, and actually from the, well, it's okay if you show the next group.
Okay.
The next one. Last spring, we served as the host site for the second National Faith and Climate Forum. And what was different about this one is that we partnered with 3 other churches, an Episcopal Church, Baptist, and Methodist. We also had representation from Disciples of Christ. And what's been cool about this is that our partners we're sharing resources, and we're also sharing information about events. So the event that we just learned about this week is to participate with the Climate Walk. That's going to be on September 21st, which is also in conjunction with the National Draw the Line and the Sun Day national events. And so we're scrambling to get things organized and ready to participate with that walk for the climate on Sunday, September 21st. So that's a little bit of some of the things that we have planned for this year and what we've been doing.
Wow,
Thank you.
Way to go.
Oh my goodness. This is an amazing group of people doing amazing things. Well, we're at the end of our hour, but we are thoroughly just all of the goodness of LRC is flowing through our blood. So we are grateful. We have many things to look forward to. Philip, you are always welcome to come and be a part of this. Others who watch this, who would like to join our mission table or need resources, we are here, we are available, and we just want to say thanks be to God for this wonderful ministry, all those who have been involved, and for the future that God is leading us into. So now I'm going to call on Cindy to pray us out.
Thank you. So this prayer comes from Joanna Macy. We are capable of suffering with our world, and that is the true meaning of compassion. It enables us to recognize our profound interconnectedness with all beings. Don't ever apologize for crying for the trees burning in the Amazon or over the waters polluted from mines in the Rockies. Don't apologize for the sorrow, grief, and rage you feel. It is a measure of your humanity and your maturity. It is a measure of your open heart. And as your heart breaks open, there will be room for the world to heal. That is what is happening as we see people honestly confronting the sorrows of our time. And we ask that God would bless our time and our actions together. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.